Peace, Islam. Greetings and salutations to you who are watching this. Something I want to talk about or bring to attention is the fact that we as Muslims have been sort of confusing tradition with, ethnic tradition with Islamic tradition, which, for the record, are two separate entities, two different things. You have, Arabs, Somalis, Pakistanis, Bengalis, who are predominantly, those people have grown up with Islam or the practice Islam. Apart from the Caucasians, even though for some in Europe or other Eastern Europe, there are those who have been practicing Islam for some number of generations. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is, for the most part, whenever people think Islam, in their minds, they're thinking Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Asia, pretty much. And the number one thing that pops in their mind is that is their culture, their ethnic culture, because for the majority of us, Arabs, Indians, actually Pakistanis, I would say, and Bangladeshis, as well as Somalis, we ethnically grew up in Islam. So it's second nature. Even though sometimes we grow up in it, though not fully understanding or comprehending what Islam is, like what Tawheed is, how to practice it, like how to live Islam. So on a different plane, it pretty much brings a different connotation, it brings a different perception, because when you see an Arab man or Bengali man who is, abusing his wife, people automatically think, that's Islam, that's normal, women are oppressed. But then again, that couldn't be far from the truth, or maybe they see that women are not really taught knowledge or academics. Again, that's further from the truth. If anything, Islam makes it absolutely clear that knowledge is something mandatory. It's something mandatory, something which is must for any Muslim growing up. Knowledge is something that is a must-have for any Muslim. Now, Islam presents simplicity in Islam. However, something to not forget is that we really should not be bringing ethnic culture to Islam, because that's when things get a bit blurry and misunderstood. For a revert, or someone who wants to revert to Islam, when they go to someone who's perhaps an Arab or Somali or Pakistani, sometimes you have that individual presenting mostly the culture, the ethnic culture, and a little of what Islam is. Sometimes we will see people who are very, very harsh in their addressing other people, or when it comes to talking, Sometimes you would have someone just asking about something, and a Muslim, depending on the culture, would act very arrogant or very harsh. What are you, stupid? Are you dumb? Doesn't know what Islam says, blah, 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 blah. But, in Islam, the Sunnah, we are taught to be as kind as possible. Use wisdom, use logic. Not just jump on someone and say, oh no, this is wrong, that's wrong. No. Put it in a manner that they understand. Put it in a manner that is very kind, very wise, so that you do not chase that person. If Islam is presented the wrong way, then that's on you, One thing you have to remember is that whatever you are inviting to, that action that you do is actually being recorded, and on the day of judgment, so that person who is, inviting others to Islam, they will be asked by Allah, what method did you use? Why did you do this? One thing that we tend to forget is that every action that we do is being recorded. Every action that we do is for the sake of Allah. So regardless of what you're doing, playing around or working, giving charity, helping someone out, giving advice, all this goes back. You have to know why you're doing it. The reason for doing it is paramount. We say إنما الأعمال بالنية. Every action depends on your intention. So if you are doing what you're doing for the sake of Allah, then all is good. That's pretty much perpetual ibadah, perpetual worship. But then again, whatever action that you're doing, you need to remember to check your intention, check your state of faith, of being. It's not as simple as saying, oh, I believe, and then that's it. No. You have to apply your belief. You have to put application into your belief. You can't just say I believe. Practice. You can't just say I'm a psychologist and not read about psychology, right? You can't say I'm a surgeon and not read about surgery. You have to read. You have to practice what you apply. So as a Muslim, you need to read what it means to be Muslim, how to be Muslim. There are tools, there are ways to practice to be Muslim. So when it comes to inviting people, there are tools, there are methods that you can use to invite people, using wisdom, using kindness, and using mercy, and not necessarily just jumping off and being all rude. That's just not it. But anyways, that's apart from the topic that I was going to talk about. We should really, really, really be keen into differentiating what is ethnic culture and what is Islamic culture. Pakistani culture is not necessarily Islamic culture, or Arab culture is not necessarily Islamic. Neither is it Bangladeshi or Somali or any other culture out there. Islam came to perfect good character within a culture, within a human being. Islam is a separate thing, a separate culture, different from the ethnic culture. So people tend to confuse this too, and you have most of reverts saying, oh, I want a Muslim name. I mean, we get that, but naturally speaking, in Islam, there's no such thing as a Muslim name. Any name which has a beautiful meaning, which has a positive meaning, you can still have that. You can still have John, you can still have Joseph, you can still have Nancy. All these names are good. You don't necessarily have to say, oh no, I want to be, Yahya now. I mean, Jonah is still good, or I don't want to be Jacob anymore, I want to be Yaqub. It's the same thing, like literally, it's the same thing. But then again, I guess suppose at the end of the day, it depends on the preference that you have. All in all, the Muslim community today has sunken low. If anything, we have gone back to the Jahil times. We're not progressive. Islam is supposed to be progressive in thinking and everything. And I don't mean the whole Western or like liberal, whatever. No. I mean from an Islamic perspective. There are many, many things, not just to put in, for example, mahar, whereby right now you would have people say, I want gold. Why is that in Islam? I mean, I understand preference. However, you need to understand the Sharia, whereby you have to make it simple. You have to make it blissful, not put too much. And there is a reason why mahar should be as simple as possible. But also at the same time, there's a lot of racism in Islam today. I mean, where did this come from? Like, the whole point is not to be racist. You go to, brother, like, masjids have been incredibly political. Like, the Islam in masjid is not even there anymore. You go to someone, you ask for help, and they, brother, inshallah, what? Like, what is that? Someone is reaching out to be your brother, to be your sister, to be your friend, and you point blank ignore them, or I don't know. I mean, subhanallah, it takes 3 to 4 years for people to even like come to you and say, Assalamu alaikum, brother, hey, how's it going? How are you? Where are you coming from? 4 years, really? 3, 4 years? I mean, come on. We're Muslims. The moment you meet another brother, you reach out to him and say, hey, how's it going? Where are you from? Welcome to the masjid. a masjid is supposed to be a place for, hanging out. It's like a lounge. People come, you discuss about Islam, you discuss about life. You joke around. Yes, you joke around. Be yourself, but like all the joking around, all the social life doesn't mean that you can't push yourself in an Islamic perspective. You can do ibadah and at the same time, be social, keep up some jokes, make some laughs, have some fun. You can still get the work doing that. That's part of ibadah. Anyways, just a point to highlight that sometimes, as da'is, they should do their best not to bring the ethnic character in front, but a Muslim character in front, because that has huge paramount on what the potential revert will see in Islam. People look at you and judge Islam, so better make sure that you present the religion of Allah as best as possible, in the best of manner, with wisdom, with mercy, with kindness. Not go off rude and arrogant. That's not Islam. So, all in all, it's really important to know the state of mind that you're in, or the state of faith or the iman that you're in, and try as best as possible to present the deen of Allah in the best of manner. And remember that everything goes back to aqidah, creed, belief, that unwavering belief and faith. Everything goes back to monotheism. Everything goes back to, it goes back to Allah. It goes back to worship. Submission goes back to, monotheism. So, joke around, have fun, express yourself in, art, nature, do poetry, have some brothers, sisters, gather around. I mean, you don't have to do, read Quran all the time when you meet, but you can look into the hadith, have some laughs, go somewhere, enjoy yourself, buy ice cream, whatever, and within each action that you do, there is, Bismillah. That's right there, that's ibadah, I mean, it shouldn't be so complex. People shouldn't say, okay, make dua for us. And when you say, رَبَّنَا أَتْنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, and that's it. And people are like, is that it? Is there more? I mean, they're expecting a huge essay of dua. No, Islam is supposed to be simple, and we should make it so. Not complicate it, or rather even make it out to be, something which isn't. So, just an advice to you out there, brothers and sisters, is that when you are inviting someone to Islam, or when you are practicing Islam, remember, Islam is Islam. Ethnicity is ethnicity. Do not put your ethnicity in front of Islam. Take the good from the ethnicity and, place it there. Do not take something which is not part of Islam and put it there, So, I'm hoping the message came clear. And inshallah, may Allah guide us to better understand Islam, better understand Allah, and worship Him better, and try to present our religion in the best possible manner. So, other than that, Assalamu alaikum.